Today I have one of the most attractive headlight assemblies I've ever seen in my life to show you guys. It's the Morimoto XB LED headlight for the 15 to 17 Ford F150. They look beautiful, they fit great, you get a sweet DRL, and more importantly, they are insanely bright. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to install them in your truck, and more importantly, how much brighter they are against the wall compared to the stock headlights in your truck already. So let's get started. So we got the truck pulled into the shop now, and the first step in getting these headlights out is removing these two 7mm bolts from inside the fender liner. Set those off to the side. The next step is this little plastic retainer here. Get a pry tool under it. You could use honestly anything, flat screwdriver, whatever you've got available. Pull up on the center section and pry it out. So coming back down here toward the wheel liner, use a pry tool and just pop this plastic flare off if you've got it. Some trucks don't have it, and if your truck doesn't have it, you can just skip this step. But it should pop right off and come toward you like that. And you don't need to take it completely off to do this. Now, taking a pry tool, if you get behind this plastic piece here, you can kind of work it toward you and pop it free of its clips, like so. Just like that. Comes off pretty easy. So if you just grab down here, work it toward you, pops off just like that. Now there's two bolts over here on the side. There's one up here and one right here that you need to remove. And I put a little tape on this flare just so that I don't accidentally scratch it with my socket. These are 10mm bolts. Come off just like that. Now, I've got a couple more 10s. And then for whatever reason, all the way to the left here, there's an 8mm bolt. Not sure why Ford decided to switch it up on us midway through, but 8mm socket pulls this out. So now with all that hardware removed, we can finally pull this plastic support out of there. And on this truck, there were a few clips right here, and it was pretty challenging to show those on camera. The way you remove them, honestly, they're attaching this piece right here. The way you remove them is just press in on the center nub right here. Super easy to remove them. We just couldn't quite get the camera in there while I was working on them with my hands, but a pry tool pops them free, no problem. So we've almost got these headlights removed now. There's one 10mm down here to remove. And there are two up top, right here and right here. Go ahead and remove those. Then we've got this little black plastic spring-loaded clip right here. And if you just take a pry tool, flat screwdriver, anything really, lift up on it gently. Now just when you think you're done and there are no more bolts, there is one more 10mm bolt you need to remove. It's in here. A long extension is required to get at it. And if you unbolt that, you're now free to pull the headlight out. Now at this point, the headlight's ready to almost fall out of the truck. Pull it toward you and disconnect the wiring from the back side. Twist that and pull it out. Press down on this connector here. Pull it toward you. If it's dirty, might put up a little bit of a fight. There we go. And then there's one more T10 marker light up here in the top corner. Pull that out, set it off to the side. So the next step in installing the Morimoto XB LED headlights is running this Drl harness. And what you need to do is just open the fuse box, and right here you'll see this third fuse up from the side here. It's a 10 amp fuse, it's red. We've got two 25s, 25, 25, 10. We're gonna pull that 10 out, and we're gonna plug this fuse tap in there. Install it right back into that slot there. Route the wire down along where the lid's gonna close. And put the lid back on. So one of these plugs needs to go to the passenger side headlight. It's the shorter of the two. I'm gonna leave it here for right now because I'm showing you guys how to do this on the driver's side. Take the longer leg of the two plugs, bring it over to the driver's side, route it nicely along the radiator support here, just like it says in the instructions, and route that right through to the rest of the headlight wiring down here. Now, I left these bulb sockets and the bulbs themselves installed in the truck when I pulled the headlight off. We're not going to be needing those anymore. Everything's going to be LED integrated into the headlight from Morimoto. So just go ahead and unplug these, put them in a safe spot. Ideally, you should put them right back into your stock headlights. That way they don't get lost. So we already did a tabletop review on the Morimoto XB LED headlights for this F-150. If you need any more specifics, you'll find them in that video. This really is showing you guys how to get these things installed in your new F-150. More importantly, what they look like compared to the stock headlights, which we already know aren't very good. You've got 4 different LED projectors here. You got a nice blacked out look, and more importantly, you got the sweet DRL that kind of emulates how the new F-150s look from the factory. It's going to sharpen this truck up a lot. The blacked out look is going to match the paint on this thing beautifully, and I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like against the wall. We've tested some of the other Morimoto headlights and they are insane. So we can finally get this thing plugged in, bring it over to the truck. I threw a little tape down just so I don't scratch this black truck up at all. And you'll find some wiring, some plugs on the back, but honestly everything has a home, everything has a place. Take your factory turn signal plug and plug it into this black connector here. Clips right into place like that. We've got this little plug here that was for your main headlight power. Plug that in like so. Everything plugs in real nice, clicks together well. Don't have to worry about any moisture or anything getting in there. There is a single connector here, and this is for your DRL wire. That harness that we just ran across the engine bay. Plug that in like so. And then finally we've got that T10 marker light that was in the corner of our original headlight. That just plugs in like this. Everything fits together really well on this. I'm really impressed. Now, bring the headlight back into the vehicle here and just gently make sure everything lines up real nice. So you can see it fits just like the factory headlight did. Now I'm just going to throw 2 bolts in the top here just to make sure that it's not going to fall on me. In the instructions supplied by Morimoto, they recommend running these headlights for about 5 minutes just to make sure everything works properly. So I'm going to do exactly that, and I got to say, even with the truck tore apart, this thing looks insane on the front here. This looks way cool. It looks very modern, blacked out. I love it. So I'm going to fire these things up, let them sit for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to take the passenger side apart, get that thing installed, and then finally, we're going to pull this over to the studio and see what these things look like compared to the stock headlights. So we've got our F-150 pulled into the studio now, and we're taking a Lux reading of the headlight output. Now Lux is your usable light output firing down the road from your headlights themselves. And this came in at 650 Lux at 20 feet. Honestly, these trucks have a pretty decent beam pattern from the factory. We've got 2 distinct hotspots, one left, one right. Now, let's see what the Morimoto XB LED headlights can give us for output. Now that is what we're talking about. Not only do these things look good, they perform really well. Look at that distinct cutoff line. This thing's gonna imitate and honestly probably surpass any brand new Ford with the new LED headlights they come with from the factory. This came in at 1,330 Lux. Well over double. You got a nice clean cutoff line. It's not going to bother oncoming traffic at all. These look great. Let's see what the high beam looks like. We've got the stock high beam turned on now, and honestly it's a pretty bright stock high beam. It came in at 1,650 Lux. Let's see what the XB LED headlight can do as far as brightness. We took this reading twice because we were afraid that we misread it. This came in at 4,150 Lux. Compared to 1,650, almost 3 times brighter. That is unbelievable. We've got a nice, sharp, bright, white hot spot on the left and right. We picked up some brightness above those to illuminate the trees and signs and stuff like that. And we've got a ton of light down low for any obstacles in the road that you might encounter. Honestly, the XB LED headlight is a tremendous headlight for this truck. As you can see, these headlights have a wicked high beam. The low beam's great, but that high beam is insane. 4,000 lux. It's almost 4 times brighter than stock. It's gonna fire way down the road. And when you factor in everything else about the headlight, the blacked out look, the sweet DRL around the outside, this is a must-have for your F-150. I want to buy an F-150 just to throw these things on it. Now, if you need anything else for your Ford F-150, reverse lights, fog lights, anything at all, we can help you out at Headlight Revolution. Thanks for watching.